Hello there. Welcome once again to the Photography Shift. I'm really pleased that you've come back to listen to another interview by a truly inspiring woman in business. Been really lucky. Had some fabulous guests so far in the second series. Claire Bannister, Abby Booth, Grace Fogarty, Camilla Norman, Sandra Garlick. Last week we had Jess Levy and Sarah Spindle from Level Up Ladies, and we also had Hazel Turner. So we've had an array of fabulous women um, joining in the conversation. And this week I'm really, really thrilled to be welcoming Lorraine Thomas from View from My Window. Um, she's an amazing woman in business. She's got so many interesting insights. She's talking about transition. She's talking about how important it is to align with your business, with your clients, and be seen as you are, and how your clients are going to see you. So, yeah, it's a really, really interesting conversation, and I would invite you to listen all the way to the end. There's lots of gems, and yeah, it's a really fun session. So, thank you for joining us. Hello there. Welcome to the Photography Shift, a series of conversations exploring what it really means to embody your visibility, step beyond your comfort zone, and allow yourself to be fully seen both in life and business. As a brand photographer and visibility specialist, I'm fascinated by the shifts that happen when women begin to own their story, trust their voice, and step more confidently into the space they're meant to occupy. So today I'm really excited that I'm being joined by award-winning Lorraine Thomas, founder of View from My Window, a socially conscious property investment and development business built with purpose, heart, and community at its core. Lorraine's journey is incredibly inspiring, and after leaving a successful corporate career to care for her father, she went on to create a business focused not just on property, but on creating opportunities, mentoring others, and making a meaningful impact through the work she does. So, together, we're going to be talking about visibility, courage, purpose led leadership, and the personal shifts that happen. So, welcome, Lorraine, and thanks so much for joining me today. And I'd really love to hear more about you and View from My Window and how all that began.
Hi, Liz. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And actually, you've caught me at the perfect time because View from My Window, as you pointed out, is a small property-led business. But the word view from my window can mean many things. But for me, it's about aspiring beyond actually what you can see, which leads me nicely into the transition that I'm becoming at the moment. Because as well as property's my background, yes, and that's where my wealth has been created. But actually now I'm moving into something called prime. And I'm becoming a legacy strategist for women in their prime, where their business is okay, everything is okay. Um, they may be in corporate, that's okay. They go on holiday two, three times a year, that's okay. Everything's just okay, but nothing's setting them alight, setting them on fire. And they know that they are here for more than just the work that they're doing, just the niceties of serving their clients and doing things on a lower level maybe for their community. So what we're talking about here is something that ignites inside. It's the inner stuff where you wake up in the morning, you go, yeah, that's it. But it's not just you. I'm looking for women who are know that they can create impact in their communities and beyond. So it's not just those around them. This is about something that's bigger than you, and you're going to take people on the journey with you because we all know success, if you arrive there and you arrive on your own, it doesn't feel quite like success. But when you take people along the journey with you and you're growing and they're learning as well, that's a much bigger output. And so that's, yeah, that's where I am at the moment. And in terms of visibility, My visibility needs to grow with that. So the rooms I'm stepping into now, where these women are all okay, that's okay. But now I need to show up in a way that inspires them also to show up, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds amazing. And actually, kind of what you're saying about people needing more.
Yeah,
They get to a level and they're perfectly content and stuff, but
yeah,
there's just like something missing, something that they need to kind of share more of
yeah,
themselves to maybe their community or their business. It might be their business community, or I think it's really a really interesting topic to
concept.
kind of get into. And
And I
actually,
think
oh, sorry.
the end of this is really, Liz, it's not only that you're doing it, it's to create the impact, but to leave the lasting legacy.
Yeah.
Because we all want that lasting legacy, whatever that is. And you don't want it to be, I worked at HSBC Bank for 40 years, but I created no impact in the world. I didn't, it could be that you fed 10 cats but that is, you're doing something for the community. You fed the people under Waterloo Bridge, maybe. You didn't realize you could do it. You've now set up some kind of charity or some kind of weekly rota where others are doing it too. That's called impact in your community. That's a lasting legacy. Underneath she was a fabulous person who
Yeah.
did this. Not enough. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. And actually, kind of that leads really nicely. I think you kind of started answering this first question that I'm gonna ask you. At what point in your growth did you realize your visual presence needed to evolve and your visuals weren't actually matching up to your level of work? And I think you kind of started to talk about that. So I'd be interested for you to kind of talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So I think the way that you show up is it's really important because that's people buy from people. And the way you present is people have an impression of you online and offline, and you want the two to mirror to match, right? So if I look very different online and then you meet me in person and I'm something else, it's kind of already a disconnect. So it's trust is at the heart of it. So I want to appear very much the way I want to. I want people to know me online and offline. And that, I guess the offline actually is your calling card to when you can't show up. So sometimes, increasingly these days, we're being told that we need to get onto camera, we need to speak to camera, we need to show up, all of these things. And sometimes you just can't. But if you've got the right visuals, the right branding, that can almost do some of the work for you when you're not in a good place to do that. So you want it to represent you in the times that you can't show up personally. So I've gone around the houses to answer that, but I hope
Yeah,
it answers.
definitely. It kind of like takes some of the load from
Yeah,
people. I mean, most of us, we can't be everywhere at once, and we're also doing obviously our jobs. So I know for many people, they find marketing and visibility can be quite difficult, but
yeah,
and face to face is one of the most valuable ways that we can connect with other people, but we can't be
yeah,
everywhere at once. So having that visual presence that you've said, like the whole branding package, which done right connects properly with our ideal client, our audience,
yeah,
is a really good way to do that. How do
yeah.
you think your visual identity influenced the way people perceive your authority? And did your investment in photography influence the way clients perceive you? And we're all obviously all in business, so we're here not just
Yeah.
because we love it, although we all do love our jobs, but we need to
Yeah.
be paid too. So did it also
Yeah.
affect that?
Well, I think the way you show up is people want to take you seriously. So if I didn't show up or I used photographs from 10 years ago, where I was on a very different trajectory, that's not representing who I am now. So I want people to see the real me. And I think people want to see that you've invested in yourself so that they think, oh, she's serious. actually, she's a serious player. And I like the look and feel of her brand because it's maybe a little bit playful, um, but there's a seriousness in there. And that's how I want to be seen. So I want my brand photography to be like that. And at the moment, as I transition into a legacy strategist, I want it to represent the next realm, the next level. And so I'm in the market right now to look at shifting and tweaking that. My brand at the moment is very much about development, it's very much about property, it's very much about young people getting onto the property ladder. And I want to show that and the success I've had around that. But there's also some serious messages in there. Now I want it to be about prime, women in their prime who know that there's something else to give and they've got another 20 or 30 to deliver it. And so I want to represent that, however that may be, visually and as you say, aligned with who I am. I want that to come across.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is really important that's right for your business,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
changes all the time for all of us because our businesses are evolving, and as you've said, your business is about to sort of transition into
yeah.
this different area, and it's about sending that message and making sure everyone kind of can see that, and
Yeah, but also not leaving behind how what I've built in the past.
yeah,
There's not a disconnect. So that's why I
yeah,
use the word transition.
yeah,
And I think the photography and the branding needs to transition with me
yeah,
because legacy can be around property too.
yeah,
And so, and I'm a strong believer in that. People owning something and leaving it behind, but we all can't be in that space. So your legacy might derive from something else, which is perfectly fine. But in terms of as an entrepreneur and looking at where I was, I think now my photography needs to look at where I'm going, but
yeah,
not leaving behind where I've come from,
yeah.
that journey. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's so important because obviously we all know you for what you're doing at the moment, and it
Yeah,
informs where you're going as
yeah,
well. So I
yeah,
think we're all on this kind of journey, but our past, you have to go on that journey to go forward. So everything we
yeah.
do is it informs what we're going to do next.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
And
Yeah,
do
I
do you
agree.
do you kind of think that so because I mean I've seen your photographs. I mean, obviously you were on the cover girl for Brand New magazine, which is like awesome.
Oh, thank
I know,
you. Keep
amazing.
flagging it to my youngest daughter, who's like, "Mum, cover girl, can you stop calling it that?" And I said, "But I am."
You
And she's
are.
like, "Stop calling it that."
I know, and they amazing. And I think, I mean, when you were the cover girl,
Yeah.
how did that make you sort of feel that other people were responding to you?
Oh my goodness. You know, as well as feeling proud. I was proud. I was honored that she asked me to do this. Um, but more importantly, representation matters. And in my world, as a black woman doing what I do, it's largely it's still a male environment. Construction is, and I champion more women into construction. Um, it's important to show up and to show people that actually, if Jenny from the block can do this, then you can do it. And that was that made me feel great, actually, that I could represent women of a certain age, colour, look, because I'm not a size 8 blonde bird, right?
Yeah,
So let's face it. So I wanted to show people that it didn't matter that you were a different size, a different color, a different look, got short orange hair. it can still be you. So show up as you are and be proud of that. And that's what I was proud of, that I
Mm.
could represent. So yeah,
Yeah, and that's nothing. I mean, I talk to all my clients about being themselves. I mean,
yeah,
primarily because so often people like will come to a photo shoot and they want to be something that they're not, and then there's a disconnect when people meet you in person. So it's that authenticity, but also I think you're so right in saying about how, you know, what is on the cover of magazines, and for most magazines you see on the bookshelf, they are young, slim, blonde. Well, no, maybe not
yeah,
always blonde, but pretty.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and a lot of people feel shut out
yeah,
by that, and I think that it's really important that people like yourself and many others who have appeared on the front cover of Brand New and other magazines
yeah,
similar to that are now representing older women who
yes.
have probably more to share because we're more experienced in life and we've gone through lots of things that we can share.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is what it's about. We're not done. And I want to represent that. We are not done. In fact, we're just beginning because we've got all of that behind us. And because we've reached the top of our hill, we can look back and take all of that with us, as well as see what is ahead of us. So
Yeah.
it's a great place to be, right? The top of that hill, it's a great place to be before you start to transition down it. So I think, women in midlife, this is the new, I don't know, this is the new playful season. The time
Yeah.
to enjoy it, to relish it, and to know that actually there's so much more to give.
I,
And the thing
yeah.
is, now you don't give a toffee, you really are take me as I am because this is me.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I think this is such an exciting time to be a midlife woman in business
Yeah,
because I think, people are sky's the limit, really,
yeah,
in this
yeah,
area. So I feel really lucky that, I look at my mum's generation and it's a totally different ball game. So we are
yeah,
really lucky. So
yeah.
we're coming to the last question. I can't believe it's so come round so quickly. But
Yeah.
this is the point where I try and ask people to offer advice to anybody who's in business and perhaps contemplating their own visibility and how they're going to show up. So, thinking about your own brand shoot experiences, I'd like to ask what would you share with someone preparing for theirs, or what's one piece of practical advice or action you'd recommend someone take before a brand
So,
shoot, or you could do it on the day itself?
yeah, so I would say know where you are going. Be intentional about your photography. So it's not just here and now. This needs to serve you going forwards over maybe over a year, it may be over 2 years before you do the next one. Let's hope you don't keep it that long, but think about where it is you're going. And it's important, don't overthink it because you could end up, like you say, coming thinking about it so much that you turn up and it's actually it's not you, and the message is all wrong because the clothes and the look and the feel, there's a huge disconnect because you're trying to be somebody that you're not. So I would say prepare your message before your outfit.
Yeah.
That it has to be that way. Prepare the message that you want to perceive in the photography before you prepare the outfit, and then the two will align. Be really intentional about
Yeah.
that.
I love that. I really do. I think I try and talk a lot to my clients about this, about knowing kind of what they want to say. I mean,
Yeah.
what messaging are they wanting to how what they're meant wanting to say to their audience and how they want their audience to perceive them and what they want their audiences to feel when they look at those imagery.
Yeah.
This has been, I love it. This has been like so enlightening. There's been so many takeaways here. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for
It's
coming
a
on
pleasure.
to the photography shift. I was delighted that you agreed to come on.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, I think we need to show up. This is what it's about. So, practice what I preach.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Many thanks. I will see you soon.
Yeah. Take care.
Wow, what a fabulous interview with Lorraine. She really is an amazing and inspiring woman who I think has really nailed quite a few of the pieces of conversation that I wanted to talk about in this series. So thank you so much for that, Lorraine. Um, wow, I can't believe we're kind of two-thirds of the way through this series already. As I said in the beginning, we've had some amazing women appearing on this show, and we've still got some brilliant women to come. So please do stay tuned in. If you've missed any of the interviews so far, you can go into my website or go onto my Instagram feed and click the link in the bio, or go to contacts in my LinkedIn and again click the link in there, and you'll be able to go straight through to the interviews, and you'll be able to go back and see previous ones. So please do that if you haven't already, because there's some amazing interviews with some amazing women, which I'd really love to share with you. So this has been like quite an incredible week for me, actually. I hosted my first mini event, the Visibility Boost Day mini shoot, last Friday, which was awesome, which we had a full house for. We had back-to-back mini shoots, as the name suggests, and we also had some wonderful networking and visibility tasks. And yeah, it was a fabulous group of women. We had a lovely lunch and in a beautiful house. So that was really great. And if that wasn't enough, I became a finalist in the Shining Star Awards as well last week. So yeah, a really, really delightful time. Yeah, and just to let you know, if you are interested in doing something like the Visibility Boost Day mini shoot, you can sign up to a wait list on my website if you go through to the mini shoots page. And also, if you're looking for something a bit bigger and you need to refresh your images for the summer, or for the autumn. I do have a few spots left in July and August. So please do give me a shout. I'd love to work with you. You can just DM me. And in the meantime, hopefully, I'll see you next week with our next guest, who I'll be announcing shortly. Take care. Bye.